This is Anthony Nunez, and today I wanted to do a video about the impact of COVID on New York real estate. So it was pretty interesting. I mean, right before COVID, I want to say December, January, February, I felt like I was at the time, what was the busiest moment of my real estate career, in that I had ample clients and I felt like, how am I going to be able to service all of these people? And then March came and COVID really changed the dynamics of real estate in New York. Number one, in March, I stopped businesses. I just stopped business. I saw in the news what was happening around the world and the number of people dying and the uncertainty of this virus, that I just said, you know what, it's not even worth to put myself or my family at risk. And I simply stopped doing business March, April, and most of May. Around May, I was like, okay, I have a better understanding of the virus. It seems that there's some preventative measures that I could take to go out there and still be able to function in real estate. And then I encountered a new beast almost, because now this real estate market became almost like it got injected with steroids, because people that were on the fence about buying a home now got off the fence. It was as if most people in New York City who were renting were thinking, and you can see that with the trends in the amount of people viewing homes online. People started thinking, where can I go to be in a better position with COVID, right? And I became busier than ever because people started flocking to the suburbs. So these suburbs became one of the hottest attractions in real estate because people wanted to have their own piece of property with some land that them and their families could enjoy given all the COVID restrictions. Now, in addition to an uptick in the amount of people looking for properties outside in the suburbs, you also had an inventory pinch. There was already a bit of an inventory pinch pre-COVID, but now with COVID, it just got exacerbated. So what was causing some of this inventory pinch? Number one, with the COVID restrictions and the COVID fears, sellers simply were not comfortable with letting people into their homes to view their property. So you had some people who generally probably would have sold, but decided to postpone the sale until COVID is controlled a little bit more, because they don't want people roaming into their house. So if you have an open house, you would then have to sanitize and take all these extra cleaning measures. And many people simply said, I'm not going to list right now, I'll list after COVID. In addition to sellers being uncomfortable with people in their house during COVID, you also had the government extending a moratorium on evictions and foreclosures. Now, if you're a landlord and you have a difficult tenant, you may not want to list the home until you get that tenant out, because that's going to impact pricing. If you're able to get the tenant out and then you can sell the home vacant and have it showing best, then you're going to get premium or top dollar for that property. So you have a lot of landlords that simply opted not to sell right now until they got rid of the tenant, and the government continues to extend the moratorium on evictions. Additionally, foreclosures. Some properties would have hit the market because sellers are being foreclosed on, and the government is extending the inability to foreclose on these clients. So this is a pool of properties that are not hitting the market. So that's pinching all the other sales. If you're a seller, this is great, because now you can sell your home and you have ample buyers. There's more buyers than sellers right now. So that would be great for the seller. But if you're a buyer, COVID buying became a place where it was just many bidding wars. I often would go out and I would say, listen, let's try to put an offer, because I know from a psychological factor that clients are going to want to get the best possible price. So you may have to lose a deal or two to see for yourself the extreme of this market. I've had clients lose bids putting conventional loans and 30K above asking. And they would lose some bids because people were flocking to the suburbs out of fear of COVID and the city life. And I think it's going to be temporary, but it was definitely felt in 2020. If a single family home had a nice little pool and was priced well, it was flying off the market. And we're seeing that continue into 2021. You also have record low interest rates. So people are able to take out huge loans at 2-3% interest. So you have low inventory, you have buyers looking to leave the city in my market. So they're looking to leave the city and low interest rates, and that's causing a boom in the market, right? Because now you have ample qualified buyers getting great deals from banks. I mean, these banks are giving them 2-3% loans, and that's going to work in the seller's favor, and that's going to cause a market that's hot. That's going to exacerbate this hot market. I think that this COVID scenario is going to continue until COVID is remedied and all these restrictions are lifted. How did COVID impact the city? I think initially New York City, especially Manhattan data, really took an impact, a negative impact, because people were afraid. You know, you're getting all these news articles saying, oh, if you're so close to everyone and you can catch COVID, it almost made it seem like if you live in a building, you better not come out the apartment. I mean, the media was really taking it to that level. And I think as people become more knowledgeable about COVID and practice more safety measures, we're seeing the initial mass exodus start to dwindle, and we're starting to see some opportunists come in and buy up in the city again. And they know New York City is unique. They know that it's not going away. It's going to be a thriving real estate economy for probably, for our lifetime. So where do the buyers stand? Where do the sellers stand with COVID? If you're a seller, this is the best time to sell if you have another place that you can buy or that you live in. Because even though you can get top dollar for your sale, you still got to buy somewhere else, which is a very tricky part of real estate, right? So great, you're going to get top dollar on your home now, but where are you going, right? Where are you going after that? And then if you're a buyer, you really have to come to the table knowing that to get the deal, you're going to either have to outbeat everybody price-wise, so you're going to have to offer the best possible price, or you're going to have to come in strong with terms. What does it mean to come in strong with terms? Coming into a deal with strong terms mean that you're putting a significant amount down, you're flexible on the closing date, you're flexible on repairs, right? You're not going to nickel and dime the seller on a home inspection. That's going to increase your ability to get the deal. And that's true for any seller's market. I don't know when COVID is going to calm down and real estate will become what used to be normal again, but I do see some trends. More and more people are getting vaccinated. More and more people are practicing safe measures, and you can see the numbers start to go down. I'm very hopeful that although it's been nice to work in the hot real estate market, I think that the social components outweigh the economic benefits at the moment, and I look forward to post-COVID normal life again.